everyone. Welcome to our pre-race announcements for the Squatchy Surprise Trail Party that is happening on Saturday at the South Mountain Reservation in Bern, New Jersey. Last year we had it at the Tulip Springs Trailhead, but we had to slide it on over to Millburn, which is just a mile or two down the road. They're doing construction at Tulip Springs, so this year we are out of Locust Grove Picnic area in Millburn, New Jersey. So tonight we are going to go through the pre-race announcements. Everything that I'm going to share this evening is going to go out in an email right after this. We're going to send it out, one version in English, another version in Spanish, and this recording will be made available. It'll stay on YouTube, and we'll also load it up on our podcast. More of an auditory learner, which is totally cool. So let's start going through the announcements. If you're watching live, feel free to drop questions in the comment section and we will get to them. We'll also have time for Q&A at the end of this. All right, so let's start. All right, this Saturday, it's happening. July 26th, Millburn, New Jersey. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about, hopefully you've been on top of your emails. You'll see the email that went out yesterday or the day before. I'm sure you're checking the weather. We've got some heat. This is classic Sasquatch. There is always some sort of funky weather pattern that's happening. So Friday and Saturday is going to be very, very, very warm. They're calling for temperatures in the 90s. And, because it's the East Coast, we've got humidity to deal with. So the heat can go up to nearly 100 on Saturday, which is very, very warm. So the email we sent out went into a little bit more detail, but we're going to go over some of the tips that we sent out yesterday in that email for the heat. So hydrate early and often. We will have plenty of water there. We have a plan in place to do water refills around the corner at one of our Sasquatters' home is letting us refill water so we will not run out. We've got ice. We have volunteers bringing ice. They're scheduled out already. They're bringing ice to the trail party throughout the day. And great advice for the heat is to simply slow down. Okay. This probably isn't the most ideal race to try to set a distance PR or whatnot. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Try to go slower than you might want to go because that's going to help significantly with the heat. Other advice we have, wear light color, breathable, moisture wicking clothing. Cover your head so your face gets some shade with a hat or a visor. And don't forget sunscreen. That is often something that is missed. So please remember the sunscreen action. You can bring extra ice. Bring extra ice with you. We will have ice, but if you're somebody who's like, you're going to pack an ice bandana after every loop, bring a cooler with you and pack some ice in there so you can easily access it. Treat yourself to Kona Ice. We've got Kona Ice coming from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. They're going to be on site. We chose a little bit later in the afternoon because that's when all of you guys will be out there at the same time because we have staggered starts for this event. So from 5 to 7, we're going to have probably over 200 people there. So we're going to want to have them. You could do cash or credit card for Kona Ice. And then South Orange Rescue Squad will be on site. We're very lucky to have them, especially this weekend with the forecasted heat. So they will be assisting. Hopefully there won't be any issues, but if something comes up, those EMTs will be ready to assist. Okay, let's talk about parking. So this starts and finishes at the Locust Grove picnic area. If you've ever been there, you know that the parking lot is always a nightmare to put it. It's very, very busy. That's the most busy trailhead at the South Mountain Reservation. Saturday, I mean, it's gonna be hot. I think there'll still be crowds there for people who are using the trails, just hiking or running on their own. So unless you are arriving very early for the 50 miler, you can pretty much bank on you're going to park across the street in the commuter lot. So there's a train station across the street. It's right next to the public library. Commuter is free on the weekend, so you don't have to pay for parking. So you can park over there, and then you're going to walk over to the trailhead. And it's also not a it's very difficult to turn around in that parking lot. So we can't even suggest like dropping your gear off and then walking over. It's really tough to turn around at the end of the parking lot. So if I was running this race, I wouldn't even bother going into the parking lot. I would just park across the street and then walk over with all my stuff. Okay, next we've got the trail party schedule. So, a lot of different times going on here. So, 12-hour participants, you are arriving. We'll be ready for you by 6:15. We'll do check-in from 6:15 to 6:45. Starts at 7 a.m. for the 12-hour folks. And then it's staggered. So 6-hour, you are starting at 1 p.m. with a check-in start at 12:15 to 12:45. And then lastly, our 3-hour participants, they are checking in at 3:15 to 3:45 with a start time of 4 o'clock. And then all events will conclude at 7 p.m. Okay, check in. Let's talk about check in. So, our volunteer dream team will be ready for you. They're going to give you a bib, safety pin, and swag items. At check in, you are going to pick your first golf ball. So, we'll have the bucket of golf balls at check in ready to go for you to pick out which loop you are doing first. And we will get to all those details in a few minutes. Our squat shop will be open all day long. So, before, during, after the event, we have tons of gear, so plenty to choose from, tank tops and really fun t-shirts and hats and all that stuff. And we will give out the handcrafted wood medals at the finish line, which we're excited to give those out along with the awards for top female, male, and non-binary. Okay, Squatch HQ. I've been getting a lot of emails about this, which is it's great feedback for me. When people email and ask the same question, that tells me I need to add some more info online. So the question I've been getting asked fairly often is if I'm just getting dropped off at the race, or if I don't have a crew, can I still bring my stuff and leave it at HQ? Yes, 100%. There's plenty of room at the picnic area for you to set up your stuff. And that's usually what most folks do is they'll bring their gear, they'll find a little spot in the grove and leave it there for the duration of the race. So after each loop, they'll come back to their gear where they've got it set up to take care of business and then go back out. Pop-up tents. We say this every single race, and there are always people who don't listen. But if you're bringing a pop-up tent, it has to be staked down. I don't care if there's no wind in the forecast. There will be wind gust at some point, and your tent will go flying if it is not staked down. So bring stakes. We do have a hammer. If you don't want to lug a hammer, you can borrow ours. You're probably not going to lug sandbags out, but if you wanted to do that, you certainly could. So make sure they are staked down. We provide a private changing tent. It's one of those single stall pop-up tents that will be available before, during, and after the event for you if you'd like to take advantage of that. And then shout out to Dr. Colleen Drehos. She's a pelvic floor PT. She is sponsoring all the menstrual products and body wipes for our events for this year. So they will be easily accessible for you. I'm not sure if we're going to leave them right next to the porta-john for this race because the toilets are like a 30-second walk from HQ, but you can't see it. So I don't want all those, the really nice tackle boxes that Dr. Colleen organized, the amazing products. I don't want that to disappear. So we might have it right at HQ, which is an exception. Usually we have it right at the toilets. I just don't want them all to walk off and leave somebody without it. Okay, next for Squatch HQ. This year we launched a new thing called the Jackalope tent. So this is a quiet space we're going to set up away from the craziness of HQ. This is a quiet kind of corner. It's an enclosed tent. We've got a cot in there where you can just chill out. I personally go in there like once or twice during the race just to get a breather. But it's a multi-purpose. So this is also open for breastfeeding. You can go in there to use that. Very excited to be launching this new project. It's called the Sasquatch Retrail Project. Shout out to Sasquatcher Michael Feldman, who came up with this idea. So basically, it's like a give and take bin where if you have gear that you're no longer using, or maybe you bought something, you missed the return window and you want to see it go to a new home, you can drop it in the bin. And then at our events, you'll be able to go in. If you see something that you need, you can grab that. You don't have to make a donation in order to take advantage of that. So the bin is already stocked up. I'm hearing from a bunch of people that more gear will be coming, which is awesome. And I'm especially excited for this because on Saturday, we will have a bunch of our kids from the Hackensack Middle School Happy Feet Club who are going to be there. And I'm hoping that some of the gear will be a good fit for those kids. They're just getting started in their trail running journey. So it'll be cool to see some gear go to a good home. Okay, Kona Ice, like I mentioned before, they're going to be on site from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and that is cash or credit card for their shaved ice. Restrooms, I just alluded to, there are going to be 4 porta johns at the trailhead. You will pass them when you are coming up from the parking lot or from across the street. You're going to walk right past them. And then it's very easily accessible from Squatch HQ. It's just a short walk on the little hill to reach those toilets. So there is one other spot on the course where there are toilets. It's about halfway through the blue loop. Other than that, there are no porta johns on the course. So just keep that in mind. Okay, aid station. This is always a lot of fun to talk about. Shout out to our aid station captain, Allie Becker. She's going to be rocking the aid station along with our small army of volunteers. We've got a lot of people coming out to the trail party this Saturday to take the magic happen. I just loaded up most of the equipment, tested it out, make sure we're all good to go. We're going to have stoves going for some hot food. Although I don't know how much hot food y'all are going to be eating. We have adjusted the menu a little bit to reflect what we anticipate y'all will be eating. For example, we're not making hot broth on a 90-degree day. So let's go through the items that we are going to have for beverages. We got water, we got Scratch Lab hydration, Coke, flat Coke. If you don't want carbonation, we will take care of you. For fruit, we're going to do bananas, clementines, and watermelon. We have a volunteer helping us with the watermelon. We're bringing a bunch of them. I think that's going to be a popular item. For snacks, we've got granola bars, fruit snacks, potato chips, tortilla chips, Oreos, gluten-free Oreos upon request. We have a lot of pickles. We have PB&J. And we also have pickle juice coming from the Pickle Juice Company, which is very exciting. So one of the runners is going to be there, Jennifer Rankin. She's an ambassador with Pickle Juice, and she's going to be hooking up with some awesome pickle juice product for you to enjoy. Okay, for hot food, this is a small menu compared to some of the other races we had. This is based off of last year's Squatchy Surprise, where we just observed not a lot of people were eating the big menu that we had. So we narrowed it down to just a couple items that were really hot. So we're going to have pierogies. There's no cheese in the pierogies that we get. It's just onion and potato. I bought out the ShopRite in Warwick, New York. There's no more pierogies left. They are all in my deep freezer right now. We will have quesadillas. If you are gluten-free, we do have corn tortillas available upon request. And then salted potatoes, because you can never have enough salty potatoes. For our vegan and gluten-free folk, if you got to request it, like if you want us to cook separately from a different stove, let us know and we will accommodate. Same thing for like if you want gluten-free Oreos or the gluten-free corn tortillas, just let us know, because otherwise we're going to be using the gluten-full products. Okay, continuing on with the aid station, just a shout out to Scratch Labs and Pickle Juice for the products. Remember that all of our events are cupless. This is going to be really important for Saturday, so make sure you bring either like a full cup, a water bottle, your hydration pack, something that you can put fluids in. Remember, if you're running with a hydration pack, it's really important to bring a cup with you so you can partake in the lovely items we have at the aid station. So if you want like a Coke, you got to bring a cup in order to fill it up. First aid kit will be fully stocked, ready to go. We always have an AED on site. Again, South Orange Rescue Squad on site. And Wild Sense Goods, they are providing some awesome samples. They're in the little containers for their chafing balm. I've tried it. It's awesome. So if you want to try that out, we will have that available at the aid station. And I don't think I mentioned it before, but Wild Sense Goods is also doing a glitter station. So that all just arrived in the mail today from Texas, from our friends at Wild Sense Goods. So we are stoked to be providing a glitter station, it was super hot at Squatch Apple. There are tons of people who we're putting the body glitter on their arms, face, and it's really cool. So it's a fun thing that we're going to have available again for Saturday. Okay, race course. All right, this is where the fun starts to happen. We're getting into the nitty gritty details. So we've got 4 different loops. Hopefully, you've been reading our race materials online to learn about each of the loops that we've got. So they are made by colors. The shortest one is the 1 mile. It is yellow and black stripes. Next up is the checkered loop, which is 3 miles, and the blue loop is 3.5. And then finally, the pink loop is 4.75 miles. So you can read a full, very detailed course description of each of the loops on our website in the Trail Party Handbook. You can access that sasquatchtrailrunning.com/squatchy surprise. So I encourage you to do that. Or if you want completely surprised, don't do it. It's totally up to you. I personally like to do a little preparation before events. So you can also download the GPX files from our website, and the course map is available on our website in PDF form, which you can keep on your phone or you can print it out for a hard copy. Okay, so how does this work? So I'm going to explain this as soon, if you've never looked at the race materials, again, hopefully you looked at everything and you're familiarized yourself with the format. But if not, we're going to walk through it right now. This is a very unique race. This was inspired by an ultramarathon out in Colorado called the Tommy Knocker Ultra. We've just put a Squatchy twist on it, so a couple differences here. So the way this works, before each loop, you're going to reach into a bucket of golf balls. There's those 4 different colors, which correspond to the 4 different loops of the race course. Whatever color golf ball you pull out is the loop you're going to go run. Have a couple of black golf balls in there, which black golf ball is runner's choice. So if you pull that out, you get to decide which loop you want to run. And then we also offer a charity mulligan. So charity mulligan is, you can use it at any point during the race, but you only get to use it once. And it is a redraw. So say you pull a loop that you're just dreading, you don't want to do it. You can say, okay, I'm going to donate $20 to Bigger Than Now and get a redraw. So reach into the bucket again, and whatever you get what you get. Don't get upset. You can roll the dice and see if you can get the color you want. After each loop, you're going to come back, cross the finish line, come into Squatch HQ. We're going to have our big arch there, run under the arch, and you're going to tell our volunteers which loop you just ran. So our volunteers are going to have a phone or tablet that's loaded up with our very special app that was made by Sasquatcher Joe Brandine, and they are going to type in your bib number and the loop that you just ran or hiked, and that will be pushed out to our live results page, which keeps a total of all of the mileage for every participant. So, and we will have QR codes around Squatch HQ for you to scan if you want to see the live results or you want to share it with friends and family who might be at home, or with your crew who could be on site. Now, it's not live tracking. It's not going to show where you're at on the course. It's just going to show your total mileage and the loops that you've done throughout the day. Okay, so at 6 o'clock, this is where you're going to decide if you're going to continue drawing golf balls with the time you have remaining, so up until 7 p.m., or if you're going to wait until 6:30 p.m. when the half-mile mini loop opens up. So at 6:30, if you've decided that you're going to run a half-mile mini loop, you get 30 minutes to bang out as many as you can before the time runs out. For both the half-mile mini loop and the golf ball course, if you come back from your last loop after 7 o'clock, that last loop does not count. And this was the major difference between our event and the Tommy Knocker. I believe if you didn't come back on your last loop before the race ended, none of your miles counted for the entire race. And I'm too much of a softie to do that. That would be devastating. So it's only your last loop that doesn't count at the Squatchy Surprise if you don't come back by 7 p.m. So there is a little strategery involved in this. So the other detail is that if you are coming back, say you're coming back on the blue loop, and the 6 o'clock mark is anytime from 6 o'clock on when you get back. So say you get back from the blue loop, it's 6:20. you're still going to decide, am I going to draw a golf ball and see if I can finish the last loop before 7, or am I going to wait for 10 minutes until the mini loop opens up at 6:30? So again, some strategy in there where you can possibly time when you're getting back. I won't say more than that, but it is very fun to see the different strategies that come out during the surprise. Okay, so if you choose to do the half mile mini loop, you are starting at 6:30, and every time you come through Squatch HQ, our volunteer will be there with a rubber band, and you're just going to put that on your wrist, and that's the way that we're going to track those half mile mini loops. The ending is, I mean, the whole race is kind of chaotic. It's really fun. The ending, especially, is like herding cats, because everybody's going different directions. It's really, really fun. I can't wait for y'all to experience it. So again, I think I just said this, live results. We will have QR codes around Squatch HQ. You can really, during the race, you can pull that up and see where your mileage is at. And you can share that link with family and friends who might want to keep track of you and your miles. Okay, here's some more details for the race. Pets or pet policy. You can't have them participating in the event. If spectators are coming, the pet, just it has to be leashed at all times, even if you have the most friendly dog in the world. Believe me, I've heard it 100,000 times. My dog's friendly. That still doesn't account for people who might be apprehensive around dogs. So make sure your furry friend is leashed at all times. This is another question that is asked quite frequently. Yes, you can draw golf balls with your friends. So if I'm going to the race with my buddy, we decide, you know what? Let's just draw the same golf ball every time so we can run the race together. That is super cool and groovy. The only caveat is that you both won't be eligible for the post-race awards. So because essentially it's like you're pacing each other if you're running the same loops the entire race. So just keep that in mind. If you're trying to be competitive and maybe finish in the top 3 and you want to get an award, you are going to want to complete this solo drawing your own golf balls. This is probably one of the most important items that we're going over tonight. You have to check out with this, and this is especially important for a timed event because people will be leaving before 7 p.m. That happens often. That's what's great about a timed event. There's no DNFs. So if you leave early, you do not receive a DNF. You get official results for the miles you completed. But it does make it tricky for us to keep track of everybody, and especially on Saturday with the forecast, want to make sure everybody is accounted for. We always want to, especially with funky weather, we want to make sure that we've got everybody checked out. So simply, you're just going to come right over to the timing table. And again, our volunteers will use that app. They will type in your bib number, and then there's a button they can press that's finish. So we know you're done and you're off the course, and we don't have to go looking for you at the end. Yeah, and again, we said this, you can set up your gear at Squatch HQ. Feel free to grab any open real estate there. All right, we're getting to the end here. Thank you to our volunteer dream team. Make sure you are thanking a volunteer throughout the race. This is where the trail magic happens. It's our volunteers that do that. We're going to have a lot of people helping at this race because there's so many different things happening. And just remember, there's also volunteers that make this happen before the event. So Friday, we're going to be going out with a couple of volunteers to mark the course. Really early Saturday morning, we've got folks who are going out to check the course to make sure none of the ribbons have been pulled down. And then after the race, we have sweepers on Saturday night coming, and we do a second sweep. We started doing that this past year to make sure we are truly leaving no trace. So there's a whole another set of volunteers coming on Monday to sweep the course again. Okay, one of my favorite things to share is our charity partner. So Bigger Than the Trail is a nonprofit we've been working with for a couple of years now. This charity is incredible, the work they are doing. They provide cost-free therapy for anybody who needs it. And you don't have to be a runner to take advantage of those services. So it's an amazing organization. That's what helped me get therapy a couple of years ago and get started my mental health journey of healing. And so we've just been working hard at Sasquatch to make sure there are funds that are going back into that charity so they can continue to help people. So thank you to the folks who have started. We fundraised for them for several of our events, and we're stoked to be supporting them again for this race. Scratch Labs, can't give them enough shout outs, especially for Saturday. They're going to be providing the Scratch Hydration, which is electrolytes. We'll have that in a cooler. And then again, thank you to South Orange Rescue Squad for being on site, ready to assist. And sponsors and partners. We'll go through it here real quick. We got Scratch Labs, Sneaker Factory New Jersey, The Nutrition Mechanic, Well Body Labs, Lightfoot Athletics, Chaos Crewing, Run Wild, Inc., Trail Sisters, South Mountain Conservancy, New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, Trail Mix Fun, Bigger Than the Trail, Stride for Stride, Drehos PT, and Women in Ultra Running, and also Wild Sense Good, which is a new one, which I didn't get to add there. But that is about it for our announcements. That was really fast. It's 7:30, 7:28. So if you've got questions, you can drop them the chat at this time. If not, this is about the time where I'm going to flip on my vacation responder, the automatic emails for the Sasquatch email account, because the rest of this week is going to be all race prep. So if you need to get in touch with us here at Sasquatch, use my cell phone number that's listed on all of the emails and on the website. And that's the fastest way for you to get a response. Email will be pretty sporadic for the rest of the week. So you can contact me for that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's a question. Michael Andrew. Hi, Kim. Excited for Saturday. Thanks for all the info. My question is the parking the same place as Squatchy Leftovers? No, it is not. It's actually on the complete opposite end of the South Mountain Reservation. So definitely be sure to read through the website, read through the email. It has the GPS link. You're going to the Locust Grove Trailhead in Millburn, New Jersey. If you're local, you'll probably know it's referred to as the Ferry Trail. That's the start of the Ferry Trail there. And that brings up a great point. If you're coming with family and you've got kids that are going to be hanging out, the Ferry Trail is very fun. It's all these wooden houses that are built by community members for the fair that live in the woods. So you can check that out. That's right next to Squatch HQ. It's a very cool, it's a cool little activity for folks to do. And speaking of, we will have a ton of Squatchy games that will be ready to go at Squatch HQ. So we've got cornhole, we've got a giant Connect 4 board, tic-tac-toe is available. So don't be shy. Come on over to the Squatch HQ to enjoy the games that we have available. And Michael Andrew, understood. Thank you. You are welcome. Karen Chambers says, thank you. See you out there. Stoked to see you on Saturday, Karen. And then Laura mentioned, love the Retrail project. Yeah, we're stoked to be launching that this Saturday. So again, if you've got gear that you're no longer using, it's got to be in good shape. We don't want torn up stuff or anything that's broken, but if it's got life left in it, bring it to the Retrail project, drop it in the bin, and we'll find it a new home. Okay, I think that is it. That is all the questions that have come in. So we're going to wrap it up. Again, if you need to get in touch with Sasquatch, use my cell phone number for the rest of this week, and we'll respond appropriately. Okay, until we see you on Saturday, keep it squatchy.